Hey everyone, welcome to this video. If you were watching the last video, you noticed that it kind of cut off immediately. And the reason is I spent about really an hour messing around trying to get the display right here for this layout. Now, I went ahead and cut it off so we don't have to work through that. If you are working on your app for building it out in the back end of Bubble for our Lotus Yoga app, then you likely got as far as, or a little further than this actually. So I want to show the setup that I have. Basically, I have these spacers, 11, width of 11 on all of these, and you can notice the X value here, 103, 206, 309. Obviously, the first one is 0. And then these groups that are 92 wide at 11, 114, and 217 for that. So these groups, they have the default badge, right? If reminding ourselves where we are in all of this, we have a couple badges we want to display in addition to uh, you know the default ones that automatically show, right? We have ones that we want to display, but what displays when the person has not reached it? This black and white one. So here I'm going to show off, just because I want to make sure that the steps. Oh, lost my keyboard. The steps are clear, as into how I arrived at a place with working uh, stuff. And I'll be honest, you might have from your end. Okay, so I'm going to keyboard over one. Okay, so keyboard over all the way, and I'm going to keyboard down. The reason for using the keyboard instead of the mouse is because this whole conglomerate of stuff is 320 pixels wide. Using the mouse will actually pull it outside of the group, which we don't want. So what we've got here now then is stuff with kind of the wrong name, right? But we've got to update all of this stuff, and wrong name and wrong conditions. But I took some screenshots of those conditions that were set up on these, so should be pretty easy to put it back together. But first and foremost, let's take a peek at our layout when it is expanded. This is the point of these extra steps. So cool. So these are the same size. And then one thing I want to do is I actually want to take this, and I think I want to say like 180 for each of these for the width, or the maximum width. I think. Yeah, because that looks, as far as badges go, imagine those boxes will not be around it, so there'll be a lot more space in between, is the point I'm trying to convey. So make sure to update all 6 of these for the blank ones, and then we'll do that for the other ones. Why not do that now? So I'm going to open up these bottom 3. I'm going to turn off and turn on the actual badge itself. And so this gets a 180. And we're going to call this badge 4, badge 5, and badge 6. Okay, so I believe, are these set to be visible on page load? They are. So I'm going to, I'm not going to worry about that yet. This is blank image 6. We have a blank image 5 and a blank image 4. And then we need to reset the conditionals on these, and we should be on our way. So just a little bit of renaming for our groups. And then let's think. We're going alphabetically. So beach, and then this first class. So there's acro, beach, vertical, and vinyasa. Vertical comes before. What is going on? Text vertical, all vertical, complete. And then this would be when all vinyasa is complete. Okay. And then all classes. And could get fancier with these names. You could say master or something. Yogi master. Before I rename these, I'm just going to actually make sure all of this works out so I don't have to delete them again. So what I want to do is clear this out and upload the, let's see, vertical one. And this is, batch 4. All right, typo there. Okay, one set for the image from our copy pasted stuff, just updating these. So batch 5 is not acro yoga. Wait, why is it super wide? Okay, something got bumped. Okay, vinyasa for the badge. And then it's not the beach, but rather it is the master. And I just noticed, that one back. What's up with that? That is 320. Magically 320. Whatever. When I clear that out. Wrong one. Let's see, clear. Yeah, and then it just expands automatically. That could have been causing problems, but unsure. Okay, so what do we have set up here? We have set up our badges, the correct actual photos themselves that we want to show, and then we need the conditionals. So for example, let's work in group 4. We're going to work in this group. We have 2 things that need the conditionals. The vertical classes. So we can just copy this one, paste, copy. Wait. Yeah. Paste. We can do this because these are the same. And looking at batch 3, compared to the blank image, what the point I'm trying to make is the one that says doesn't contain can be at the top, and the one that says contains is at the bottom, is what this is what is all right. So doesn't contain at the top, contains at the bottom. Now I've got to go in and I've got to vertical 1. I got to make sure from the other day that I get these right. Yeah, so it's actually go vertical. You could probably use contains here as well. And then if you don't get it exactly matching. Okay, so we got search, second search, third search. In case you missed that, basically I select all of it and then I tab to the right on the keyboard and then hit delete in 3, even though it doesn't show an actual blinking cursor, or play around with it to see what you get. Okay, and then these 4, go vertical 1. That's the first search. Second search, go vertical 2. Third search, go vertical 3. Fourth search, go vertical 4. Alrighty. Let's think for a second. Let's see, the blank one. Well, so now copy this expression, put it into the blank one. Copy this expression, put it into the blank one, because these conditionals, paste. These conditionals are what we want for this vertical one. Now I just want to make sure I've got the, so if I check these ones, looks like I want the top one for the blank, the top one checked. And that is indeed the case here for number 4. And then for the actual badge itself, the one that's colored, it is selected at the bottom. So that's taken care of. And then the vinyasa, nope, not that. This conditional, it is all vinyasa, and the vinyasa ones are, let's see, there's only 3 of these, so I can go back, until this first item here. First item, and then that should close it off. So when current user doesn't contain flowing into splits, or that's the first search, here comes the second search, further vinyasa. Very important that these are exactly as the title reads in the database, so it will match it. And then we'll do that same thing down here. I'm going to start, well, let's delete, and then choose first item to close it out. And then this last search one was more about asanas. And then we're going to just go from bottom to top now. So this search one, further vinyasa, and then flowing into splits as the first one. Okay, so this is badge 5. It is the colored badge. It is the bottom part, is element is visible. We're just going to copy this expression, paste it into this one for the black and white. Same thing here, copy this expression, paste it in for the black and white placeholder image badge. Okay, and then this one, I believe, if I recall correctly, it's just like when the current user's class played count is less than 15. So current users, Uh, class count. Yoga classes played. Okay. Count is less than 15. And then we'll just say when it is greater or equal to 15. And then copy that. Roger, Roger, copy that. Copy the bottom one. And let's double check these. So the blank black and white image is always the one that's the top is clicked, just how we're doing it. But let's think for 1 second. This is saying when the person has not completed all 15, show this one. That is what we want. When the person has completed, because if we have 15 classes in our database, then don't show this one. Do show this one. Okay, so I feel like we've covered the conditionals, and let's just do a little refresh. The next steps to finish this off will be okay. Am I crazy? Or did adding conditionals make that change? We edited some text. Which that actually doesn't even update anything. All vinyasa, all classes. Oh, you know what? Well, I wonder. Center horizontally. Badge 6. Blank image. Center horizontally. Badge 5. Center horizontally. The blank image. Center horizontally. It's badge 4. Center horizontally. Blank image. Center horizontally. Man. Give all of these a nudge. Then recenter, recenter, recenter. Okay, let's check out our responsive engine here. And we're working in the badges group. Just going to close this, try and get some room. So, okay, we're just adding this fixed margin at the center. I'm going to add it to these ones as well. Funny that these are displaying differently when that setting is different. As in like it was to the left fixed margin here. Okay. Well, let's make sure we also do that for okay, yeah. We actually want to go back to the builder for 1 second and then turn on all of these badges, the real badges. And we want to update these to also have the 180 maximum. That looks fine on an iPad if you visually remove those squares that are around these. The squares make they add extra space in between and they make them look bigger than they really are. Okay. Okay, so we actually have that there. So if we go to our responsive engine and close this thing. Hello. Okay. What I want to do in this current view, page states, that's not what I want. Current view. I want to see, yes, okay, that is an iPad width. Having trouble getting, so let me take a second to go to each of these, have them be visible on page load, bring it to front. Visible on page load, bring it to the front. Visible on page load, bring it to the front. So this is, the work that we're doing here. It's kind of tedious. This is what a developer's life can be sometimes. Of getting everything right. Like basically, if you look at an app project, it could be summarized to thousands of checkboxes to hit. Like you got to hit all of these exact checkboxes, and then if you do that, it works. And typical programmers do that in code. We're lucky that we can do it without code. Okay, that's odd. What I want to do now, though, I also want to go into the blank one and say not visible. I also want to, I'm going to take all of these ones and I'm going to uncheck this. So there's no way that blank image can be visible. Uncheck here, and then we'll recheck it later. But basically, this is for a QA step, quality assurance, so we can look and check all of the color badges, all the real ones. So uncheck that, uncheck that. All right, and then we'll do that now for these ones. Uncheck here and uncheck here. Number 5 and number 6. All right, so now when we check our responsive here and the responsive engine, let's get badge 6 to display. Okay, and badge 1, well, we'll have to wait on that. So these ones all have the fixed margin centered, and I think that is an aspect of that doing the center horizontally instruction that I've done before. Okay, so we also want to go and put these conditions backwards, actually, because there's conflicting things. There's a thing telling it to always be visible, and there's a thing telling it to not be visible. But now we're telling it the condition is yes, visible, plus always be visible from this uh, setting selector. So batch 3. Okay. That should solve this. If we take a look at the responsive. Okay, good. Good, good. Good, good, great. Yeah, that is what we're going for, folks. So we know that the layout itself is good. Now our last thing to QA is the conditions. So we want to we want to set the conditions back to the way that they should be, which is all of these are all of these actual badges are the bottom one selected, and uncheck visible on page load. Uncheck visible on page load. The bottom one is selected. The bottom one is selected. It is not visible on page load. And okay, so that takes care of these 6. Now we just need to do the blank images where the top one gets selected. And then we're not going to worry about this because that's the actual condition we want. We don't want this setting of the element being visible. We don't want that to come into play. What we want is this conditional to control the visibility of these badges. And that was what will get us to what we're looking for. So we want this top one. Yes, the top one. Okie dokie. Now assuming well, there's one. Okay, we'll finish this off, and then there's one other check I want to make. I want to make sure that all of the searches and all of the conditionals are how we want them to be. So just because things have got moved around so much in this process. Okay, so the conditional handles that. And here, the conditional handles this. And the conditional handles this. It is not visible on page load. Not visible on page load. Okay, so the conditionals I just wanted to check. Start first class. That's something that will be triggered in a workflow. What I wanted to say is, okay, this is acro yoga. And then let's just check a random one here, acro yoga. And then this is beach yoga. Check a random one. Check a random one. Beach yoga. Check a random one. Vertical. We had just done these, so I feel good about it. Because of all the copying pasting before, I actually noticed one of these ones that got a little bit bumped. So great work. If you've hung out this far, nicely done. This was kind of a, something that looks very straightforward to do, but in the end, we're at the mercy of the responsive engine. So now I'm going to turn off the background color for these groups. And now we're going to double check this. And we'll check it in a couple sizes. We are checking it here for the iPad, and we'll check it for the iPhone 6, which is, I think, the same as all of the ones. It looks like we could. No, I think the title's in a good spot. So boom, that looks great. The 6 Plus looks good as well. The bigger size. The 10, I think, is just taller. That looks good. 5, that looks good. So pat yourself on the back. You have made it if you have followed along in your build, or let's just celebrate because that was a beast, and I'm very, very happy to be done with it. So little dance there. All right, then I'll just go ahead and finish off these, and as I update those, I will say that the next step will be finding a way to QA the conditionals for getting one to show, getting a badge to show. So I think we can easily do that to get the first class one to show, because when the just going to close this whole badges group. It is massive, right? All this stuff. And in our class preview group, we have on this button something that says, just to refresh our memory, make a change to the user that they've started their first class when it's no. And if it's yes, then it's always yes. So it's, that conditional. So let's bounce to the beach and get started on a class. Okay, so I don't know, this refresh thing came up. So actually we're going to go do that one more time. I'm not sure why that came up, because maybe I bumped something in the slightest bump. So let's go back to a class. Press this button. With that button having been pressed, if we go to the library, the badges, yes, we expect that the first class shows. So, all right, awesome. Now, the lengths of these acro yoga, beach, blah, 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 they are all in minutes. And we have a step that occurs when people leave the video player group on this X button, this close button. We have a step that evaluates to add a class to it. So I want this timer duration, instead of divided by, I'm going to say times 60. So if we watch it for 10 seconds, that's going to be 600 times this thing. So like 600 and, I don't know, 30 parent groups yoga class length, which is just a number. All these are super low. So basically, I believe with that, yeah, do that, please. Okay. Just curious as to why I am not getting the message to update this. I will just go ahead and update this manually. So here's what we expect to happen, is that as soon as you start playing a class, we're cheating the math a little bit. So what we want to do then is let's start with the vinyasa, because there's only 3 of those. And if we play this vinyasa. The timer's going, the timer's going, the timer's going, the timer's going. All right. So these are 12 seconds long. 12 times 60 is a lot. So basically, this, by hitting that X, it stopped the timer. It added this to the total duration, which is something we'll use in a later video. And then that timer's duration of whatever that was, 12, 13 seconds times 60 is a bunch. It will be greater than or equal to the class length. So we can assume that this further vinyasa class is added to that class list for the thing we'll evaluate with. Here we are again doing it for this one. And the last vinyasa. Okay, so once I click this, we should have just made a change to the user that says all of the vinyasa ones are done. Oh, what poses? Badges. Yes, so all of the vinyasa ones have been completed. Cool. So, what do we got here? We can test. Let's just work through all of these. Let's go ahead and test the vertical. Okay. So that's an issue to have it so white on a white background. It's something that can be solved later. Also, we still notice the issue. Small one. You know, these are things that I think in a final class we'll clean up. Just that, you know, when we load that page, it kind of has the other image in it, which is not something that we want to keep there. So there's vertical, and the last vertical. Basically, if it goes 1 second times 60, it'll be bigger than the 20 minutes, than the number 20 that's defined for the minutes. So all of the vertical ones, yes, that badge has been successfully done. And then we'll do beach next. 1, 2. The next beach. 1, 2. The next beach. And this is, I guess, an extra step for us to be QAing all of this as we're doing it. You know, sometimes people build things and then they make a big QA at the end where, you know, you go through everything. But I think while it's fresh in your mind, so you would know how to fix it if it wasn't working, I think is a good way to go about it. So we've just done beach, and boom, beach has been filled in. So our last one, we'll do acro, and by doing acro, we should also see the master one, the master yogi badge be filled in. So acro 2. And I think, you know, long ago when I started this, I had talked about how I was excited for this particular video lesson on building this, because it's a lot of conditional stuff, and the conditional stuff is programming. And so we have successfully kicked some programming tail. Boom. All right, so all of the acro yoga ones, and then that condition of badge number 6, the conditional where the current user's yoga class count. So that's just a list, right? The yoga classes played is a list of classes, and then we're allowed to access, or we're given access by Bubble very intelligently to say how many things are on our list over there, right? Count that. Oh, is it greater than or equal to 15? It is, and so then it shows up from our conditionals. So great session here, learning all of the uh, programmatic things. We work with data, we work with seconds. We basically approach this as if there's problems to solve. And the problem is, how do we know when someone has fully viewed a class? And so the last thing I'm going to do is go back, from our work here with these and set that to divide by 60 so that this would be, we kind of cheated the math to test it, but then this will be the actual math of what we want in a live app, if you are building a live app. So that would be what you want. So thanks everyone for hanging in here for this one. Join me in the next video where we will continue build out the library and we'll add some of the features that show the users the time that they've spent doing yoga in the app and some other types of metrics. So thanks for joining. If you found this valuable, it means a lot to me if you subscribe or give it a like. Appreciate that. And we'll see you in the next video.